I'm MrHartgrave, the only AEW historian. And you are now in the middle ground between light and shadow, between fact and fiction. It is an area which we call From Parts Unknown.
From Parts Unknown, this is Mr. Hartgrave.
Mr. Hartgrave, I heard you're a bit of a clam digger. Well, let's be honest, with a name like Hartgrave, probably going to stop soon. You're going to end up in the grave with that sort of an opinion. Nigel McGuinness, number one.
Listen up. Effie is here at the Big A Brunch in Philly, sold out wild show. And I need you to watch From Parts Unknown and to keep digging.
He is I, and I am him, and I'm the undisputed trend, Matt Taven. And this dork behind the camera, some Melvin told me to say, grave diggers keep on digging. Whatever that means.
Tune into Parts Unknown and keep digging.
Mark in one half private party, say what up to the grave diggers, and keep doing your thing.
I am AEW wrestler and Ring of Honor tag champ, Mike Bennett. And remember, grave diggers keep digging, but not the monster truck. Even though my son really likes that monster truck, I kind of like Son of a Digger, and so I'm going off on a tangent about monster trucks because my son really loves monster trucks, but we're talking about the YouTube channel, so make sure, grave diggers, keep on digging, baby.
Like, subscribe, and watch another video, or be cursed. If you're cursed, that means the grave diggers will keep digging your graves, so you probably want to do it.
Did you see this at World's End? This guy was holding it up. We were trying to get Evil Uno in Fight Forever.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to be in Fight Forever?
I love being Fight Forever.
We would love to have you in Fight Forever. Thank you for being on the channel. Can you say hi to all the grave diggers out there? That's what we call them.
That's what we call ourselves.
I said I watched. I didn't know you was local.
Yeah.
So this Mark in one half private party, say what up to the grave diggers, and keep doing your thing.
Excellent.
Oh.
Thank you, man. It's so good to see you back.
Thanks, serious.
This is Thunder Rosa from the Graveyards of Tijuana, Mexico. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, The Parts Unknown, and grave diggers keep digging.
You're looking at the heavyweight headhunter, Aaron Ash. You want to find me on social media? Google me. I'm not here to plug anything. I'm just here to let you look at me. Because I'm great. Now, if you'll excuse me, I got somebody to punch in the face. You have a good one.
Hey, Gravediggers. This is Pro Wrestling's Bastard, the future godfather of ultraviolence, Nico Gray, and you are watching Parts Unknown. Oh, and Gravediggers, keep digging those graves, because I'll send you body bag after body bag after body bag after fucking body bag.
Ladies and gentlemen, standing in front of you right now is the most succulent tag team in professional wrestling history. Brandon Watts and Randy Summers, Milk Chocolate.
And you are watching Parts Unknown from Mr. Hartgrave. Oh, fuck. Shit. My bad. Mr. Hartgrave from Parts Unknown. I'm sorry, Brandon. You could do this all day, though. Okay. Shit, don't. Oh, no.
You should keep these tapes.
And then you go fuck up my intro.
It was an unfortunate event that happened, but thankfully it's pre-recorded and this footage will never get seen.
From Parts Unknown, I am Mr. Hartgrave, and you are watching a live stream reaction and review of AEW Revolution 2025. I'm going to be joined by some guests. I don't know why it's so dark in here. My TV blew out back there. Not the TV, but the stuff hooked up to the TV. So maybe that's messing with my lights. Maybe that will improve over time. Stay tuned and find out. If you would like to support the channel, make sure you drop by not just my YouTube channel, Mr. Hartgrave from Parts Unknown, which contains some of the best wrestling documentaries known to YouTube, but you can also support us at Pro Wrestling Tees. Just go to Pro Wrestling Tees, type in Mr. Hartgrave, and buy a t-shirt. We actually have some great new designs coming in soon. I have a design, Mr. Stephen Strange. Fans of the channel will know Stephen Strange. He works with Gore Noir Magazine and other fine publications. And he will be doing a new design for us based on our show that's over on Combat Zone Wrestling, over on CZW. We do these interviews with wrestlers, and it's called In the Zone, you know, kind of unofficially. So the design will be based around that idea, and it's going to be really, really cool. It's going to have a big Grim Reaper on it. So even if you hate me, as long as you like Grim Reapers, it'll be awesome. We're being joined by Kellin Craven. We'll also be joined by Anthony Blackwell Jr., hopefully, at some point here as we cover Revolution 2025. I'm just telling the people how to support what we do here, and you can always support Kellin Craven by supporting Generation Next Wrestling out of Kentucky. He is the Devil of Sin City, and he is the winner of the first TGI tournament. Definitely check out all the past streams that we have. One of the best ways to do that is over on Patreon for just $1 a month. You can see all of our old streams. There's some on this channel as well. We're kind of all over the place right now. And another great way to support me, which is to support Combat Zone Wrestling, come see our next show, either via pay-per-view or come live. We're going to be in Philadelphia on April 5th. You can buy tickets right here on czwrestling.com. Doors at 6, bell at 7. And you can watch that live on IWTV. And we are being joined here for the first time by Anthony Blackwell Jr. Thank you for dropping in to help us review Revolution 2025. I assume everyone's seen the show, right? Everyone did their homework?
Yes, sir.
What's professional wrestling? No,
all right.
Yeah,
this is going to be a good stream, everybody. This is high quality entertainment that we're dealing with right here. All right. Bear with me. This is the first time we've had 2 speakers on. This is new for me. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm working it out as we go. Anthony asked me as we go live, is this live? I'm like, yeah, unfortunately. We're just trying to figure it out. We've already lost him, so this is off to a great start. We're gonna have to cook through this though. We're gonna try to get this done in about an hour. I got a hard stop here. That's wonderful. That's great. That's great. All right, bear with me 1 second. The screen's gonna go blank. Okay, and we're back, and we're on the correct internet setting now, which was a real travesty. It just wouldn't be a Mr.Hartgrave live stream without just some immediate technical problems that entirely derail the whole proceedings, right? Oh, my God. Okay. All right. I think we're here. We have Kellin. We have Anthony. Let's go to Revolution 2025, which is being kind of, I feel like it's being talked about for kind of the right reasons and the wrong reasons. Right off the top, we can address the fucking house was packed. So that's great to see. I don't know if there's been an AEW pay-per-view that has not been packed. Actually, I think we're coming up on one. Interestingly enough, the day after the Combat Zone Wrestling show is probably more notable for being the day that AEW Dynasty will be in the Lyacura Center, also in Philadelphia, and it will be a smaller show. I don't think how many seats does that place hold? It's not like 10,000, is it?
No, I think that is a smaller.
It's a smaller venue, which is interesting. I guess I don't know what the thinking is there. It seems like most AEW pay-per-views draw a pretty decent crowd. I don't know. I guess aren't there a lot? There's like I don't know. I guess there's a lot of wrestling happening in Philadelphia that weekend, but I doubt it would impact an AEW pay-per-view. But it's not exactly the most fascinating topic to be on, anyways. I don't really give a shit about houses and how many people are at events, but it is notable. It's a great looking set. I guess this is a good time to talk about. Oh shit! Did anybody notice the throwback in the set? You must have, right?
In the AEW set?
Yeah, the chandelier is back.
No, actually, I literally did not notice it. But that's probably because I just started watching this like 6 months ago.
Yep, throwback from 2019. I don't know why. But the I don't know what to call it. I think you refer to it as the chandelier. It's this big, like multi-tier thing that's right in the center of the set. That was always kind of an oddity in the classic 2019 AEW set. So that's back for the first time. I think they brought it back for like a special 100th episode of Dynamite or something. So that was pretty cool. Set in general looks cool. I like the 2 screens that they had set up. Pretty fancy looking. We got a fake out at the start here. teasing the old Hangman theme, which got a big pop. We got the classic set and the old Hangman theme. Throws the audience for a loop, but no, it's MJF. And we start the night off with MJF versus Hangman. What are your thoughts on this, gentlemen?
Well, first off, we're talking about new everything. Hangman sporting a new mullet, cut his hair a little bit, permed it up.
Yeah.
Doing some, I don't know if I can curse, but doing some cowboy stuff.
We encourage cursing. We demand cursing.
Oh, awesome. It's cowboy shit.
Cowboy shit.
He's looking like Uncle Laser. He's looking good.
Yeah. I don't know. The hair threw me off. To be quite honest, like I couldn't parse it. It looked good when he came out. When it's wet, it looked like regular Hangman. But as it dried, he had like a fresh perm.
Yeah.
A fresh perm, which is Hangman has always struggled with his hair, I feel. It's better than it has been. Like in some matches, the hair would dry and it'd just be all over the damn place. So. Yeah.
I'm struggling with my camera, like Hangman's struggling with his look right now. I don't know. I just hate the way it looks. I look so terrible.
Do you think Hangman will ever figure out a stable look for himself, or will this hair just fluctuate throughout his entire career?
I think it's going to fluctuate. I like this look. I'm going to be honest. Nice. I'm a fan of it.
Yeah, no, it definitely grew. I mean, look, it was crazy distracting, mainly because he's handsome. I was just like, I can't get over this. Like, I'm like, I think this is good. I think he's done well here. Talk to us. So Kellen's a professional wrestler. He's the real deal. Talk to us about the psychology of this match. What did you get from this one?
Man, this one was one that I didn't really have the backstory to. I've been falling behind on my weekly AEW because you messaged me and had to tell me that this program had even happened. Last time I knew, they were doing the Double J crap.
Yep.
And they just kind of
they dropped that. There. The internet responded to the Double J.
Thank God.
Cut it down. Well, there was a report going out that Tony Khan had to get more involved with stories. Everybody always disses on Tony Khan. Like, it's Tony Khan's fault. It's Tony Khan's fault. And I think he took some glee in saying, like, look, I actually got more involved. These are my stories. I told everyone else to shut up, and I ran the show for a little bit because I was also getting tired of it.
Yeah.
So maybe that was a direct Tony Khan call. Like, no, we're not doing Double J. Come on, guys. What the hell is going on?
I'm in the minority. I want as much Double J on screen as I possibly
You wanted more Double J?
I would have liked the Double J and Hangman feud and match. I'm a Double J guy.
I don't know. Look, the way this match went, maybe I'd be inclined to go with you, but I really love the end of this match when MJF, and talking about that psychology of the match, where MJF towards the end of the match is like breaking down, being vulnerable, and asking Hangman, why did they like you and not me? Why you and not me? Showing that like pathetic side. You're not going to get that with Double J. That story doesn't exist with Double J.
Yeah, no, totally.
It's a great
but I think
story.
That's the genius of MJF. I think he's super good at adapting to who his opponent is and making that story good and making that story work. I think I know he'll tell you himself he's a generational talent, but the guy is just he's a stud. He's so good in the ring. There were some spots in this match that I was shocked they were pulling off, and for the most part they were crazy but super safe. The tombstone on the chair, I mean, that couldn't have been done any more perfect, but it got the reaction it needed from the crowd. There was a spot towards the end where Hangman kind of got him in like a double-armed DDT facebuster. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, no, the angel wings. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the angel wings. All right, let's go to Kellin on that. I've seen a lot of people drop that clip online. That does not look safe. That does not look right.
No, as soon as I walked in, because I came in during this match at the viewing party that I was at that had a few other wrestlers present, and they were immediately like, MJF just died.
Yeah, dude. He just dropped him right on his head. There was a clip. Oh, man.
The workers in the room were actually thinking he was hurt.
Yeah.
That's how, into the move he got and how, messed up the move looked. I think, thankfully, he's okay. I don't think he got any serious hit, but that was a scary, scary, scary moment.
Yeah, that's not so just for background, that's not Hangman's finisher. That's Christopher Daniels' finisher. Perhaps Hangman needs to work on that one just a touch. I saw a clip of that. Yeah, go ahead.
They were deep into that match at that point in time too, so that's something that's not normally something you do.
Yeah.
And then to bust it out 18 minutes in after the pace that they just put themselves through.
Yeah,
so that was rough.
That's something that comes up again later on in the card. I think there's a handful of matches that I don't know if they did too much or had so many great moments that by the end of the match, by the back half, they're just gassed. They're just so out of everything. They can barely perform their own moves properly.
Yeah. They haven't had a pay-per-view in like since December, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there was a desire from the roster to show out.
Yeah.
Like in the biggest way possible. We have more storytelling on this show. We don't have any of these, what do you want to call them? Promo spots?
Mm-hmm.
TV spots? There's none of that at this show. We are back to the nonstop barn burner wrestling from start to end, with maybe an exception in there. I don't know if there's a stinker on this card, but it's pretty intense. So I get it.
A lot of storylines wrapped up on this show.
A lot of storylines, yeah. And a lot of stuff set up for the next pay-per-view, which is only 1 month from now. So we're moving at a much faster clip now.
Are you guys going?
I'm going to be in town the day before for the CZW show. I'm going to be working. And then I don't know. I don't know what happens. Keep an eye out for MrHartgrave if you're in
Upper
town.
deck tickets are like $60.
That's cheap. Maybe.
Very cheap.
Everybody loves me in Philadelphia, though. Last time I went to a show at the Liacouras Center, about 10 people approached me and told me how much they loved me. So I am inclined to go for that reason.
There you go.
Thank you,
hates
Philly.
everybody.
Yeah, I know. I felt
Philly
the love.
hates Philly.
Yeah.
Last time I was in Philly at a wrestling show, I got chopped, and I didn't like it. So I don't know.
All right, well.
Okay, I don't like chops either.
Especially when they're coming from Max Zero, handsome Max Zero, and Travis Huckabee. Nobody wants to get chopped by those two guys.
I try not to ask. If they come near me, I duck. I get out the way. That's usually the best move. Judge Joe Dredd threw his dirty T-shirt at me one time, and I just cowered in fear, and he left me alone. I find portraying myself as extremely weak is a good way to go.
Very smart.
Prevents me from a lot of harm, probably. I love the match. I thought it was great. I liked what we got here. I'm not disappointed it wasn't Double J. Maybe they'll come back to that at some point for you, Anthony. I don't know if you'll ever get your wish.
It doesn't have to be MJF and MJF and Double J.
Oh, okay.
If Double J's on TV, I'm happy. There's a lot of legends who I don't want to see in a wrestling ring, and Double J is not one of them. I think he's better than some of the guys that are active right now.
I'll agree with you. It wasn't the Double J. It's just that's not where I didn't feel there was enough there for MJF. Especially coming off of how lukewarm the third chapter of Adam Cole was.
Oh, what a disappointment. Yeah.
I wanted something really hot, and I felt that this delivered, and I really liked the way they brought it home at the end and brought in the sympathy for MJF, because I have sympathy for the devil. I think that at this point, having him portrayed as a straight-up heel isn't where it needs to be for the AEW crowd. I'm an AEW fan. I've watched everything since 2019. And I don't think the version of MJF that comes out and dunks on the hometown sports team for cheap heat and works that angle I'm not happy with that. I like the evolution of MJF, and I'm happy that maybe with this ending we're kind of pointing towards that.
Yeah. I will say the one thing with this show, I know we kind of skipped over the pre-show stuff, but I'm a commentary guy. I definitely lean more AEW than I do any other company, but I'm gonna be honest. I think I get some of the celebrity stuff is stupid and it's silly and but commentary just openly trashing and shitting on everything that's not old school wrestling, like Taz and Shivani and Excalibur, just openly trashing everything on commentary is not helping to keep AEW when AEW haters are watching just to hate watch, and then your commentary team is crapping on everything that's happening. It doesn't help fuel the fire of making your show look or present itself as if you have a heel commentary, fine. If you have a guy out there who's healing it up and he's doing his thing and he hates everything, I'm all for it. But when the entire commentary team is hating on everything, Everyone's wrestlers now. Oh, another kick out. Oh boy.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking
doing?
about. It took me
Like,
a minute. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. So we're talking about the big celebrity fest.
Yeah, but even like during the pay-per-view, they're just like they just openly trash everything and like laugh and they're trying to pop each other the whole time. And then but then Taz hates everything, but then his kid gets shown on camera and he has a huge heart on it. It's like, what are you doing? like I don't know. And I love all of them. I think they're super talented, but I just as a viewer, it's just like people like they're helping feed the fuel of the hatred of their own company.
I see that angle. I mean, I appreciate the chaos that AEW is, and we're going to get more into it later. There's a very much talked about segment on this show that's more talked about than what you're saying, but I think feeds into the same kind of thing. The hater fuel. The chaotic elements in AEW that lead to the internet's undying rage, the internet's undying hate boner for AEW. They don't do much to prevent it. And I don't know. At the end of the day, I think, and we'll get to it, the more the reasons why. I don't mind, but I'll explain why, because I know that it definitely could be irksome. I think maybe I'm more in the minority at this point, and people probably want to see AEW present a more professional face. A lot of people think they should. I don't like to do shoulds because I don't run a fucking wrestling company, so I have no idea what they should or shouldn't do or what the hell is going on. I like the MJF Hangman match. So let's go ahead and move on to Mercedes Moné and Momo Watanabe. This is probably a match I do not have much to say. Gentlemen, can you fill in the blanks for me on this one? Because I thought it was a good match. I'm spoiled off of 2 Statlander matches with Moné. This is fine. This is maybe my lowest ranked match of the night. In fact, let me go over to Cage Match and see what they have to say about these things. I'm guessing on the main event people really fucking hate, but people also really fucking hate women, so I don't know. It's going to be a toss up. Guys, what do you think about Mercedes Moné and Momo Watanabe?
I don't see the allure in Mercedes. Let me rephrase that. I can see why everyone else enjoys Mercedes.
All right,
I don't personally have a vendetta versus Mercedes. I think Mercedes is a very talented worker. I think she's good at what she does. I just don't understand the way she's presenting her character and putting her character together in the ring. She's trying to present herself as this giant heel. So she goes out there and she says, I'm better than everybody. And then she goes out to proceeds to get 80% of the match is her getting the shit kicked out of her. And she's wrestling like a babyface. She's taking all the heat. She's getting beat down. She sells like an animal. It's one of her best qualities of her professional wrestling is how well she sells and makes her opponents look amazing. Momo looked like a megastar. And if you didn't know Momo, Momo looked like a killer in this ring with those kicks and the way she's throwing Mercedes on her head. I mean, Stephanie Valcour got a contract because of how good Mercedes sold in their match on AEW.
Facts.
But then she goes on to win the match, but then wins it squeaky clean. And then goes back to being a heel again. And I feel like those moments in the match, she should win by cheating, would lend more to the fans connecting to her more as a heel.
I got to say, that's my problem with Moné as well. What do you think, Kellin, psychology-wise? Is Moné portraying a heel in the ring, or is that a babyface move?
No. If I had a match the way Moné does in training, my trainer would look at me and tell me that I don't get it. Like I don't get it. She's trying to have her cake and eat it too. She's trying to... We have heels come in all the time, mega heels on the Gen Next show. And when they show up to training, they want to practice their 450s. They want to practice all this shit. And they got to look at them and be like, that'd be great if you were a baby face. You have no use for that. Let's work on something that you're going to use. Let's work on heat drills. Let's do some more constructive stuff for you. And she's trying to have her cake and eat it too. She's trying to be sympathetic. She's trying to show her selling, which is probably her strongest suit. She's trying to get heat. She's trying to be the megastar. She's trying to do literally every role in a match. And sometimes it works. I don't want to take... I personally don't like her, but I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. In this particular match, it wasn't horrible. I've seen her have some horrible freaking matches. Basically, I've hated almost everything she's done besides Statlander. I've hated almost every match she's had, except for this one. This one was okay. This is medium, middle of the pack. Everything else has been way the heck down here, and then Statlander's way the heck up here, setting the bar for what women's wrestling should be. But she lives in the mid to below mid area, And a lot of it has to do with these psychology issues that she has. Because it's not for lack of talent. It's not for lack of character. It's not for lack of anything like that. It's almost like people at AEW are afraid to tell her no.
Yeah, that could be it. Who really would tell Monet what to do? And she has creative control there as well in her contract. So I think she gets to get her shit in if she wants to. And you know what? The internet actually had pretty good things to say about this match. They gave it a 7.3 out of 10. They gave Adam Page and MJF an 8.2. This was nowhere near the worst match of the night. There were two other matches that were tied kind of for that realm. This was above actually surprisingly above a match that we're going to talk about after the next one. I mean, maybe it works with Statlander because Statlander's so large and imposing that when you want to, get beat up by Statlander as a heel, it just kind of works better. When you have two characters here who are the same size and you're pulling that, the kind of flaws in the psychology kind of come out, at least for us that watch way too much fucking wrestling. I think it looks like for most people, for the cage match crowd, who are pretty nasty towards women, this past their very, misogynistic bar. So I'll give them credit for that. I think that most people watch, what I've noticed a lot of people watch women's wrestling for and what they're critical of is botches. Women botching just really, there's no allowance for it in women's wrestling. Right. And people will trash any match that has like any kind of sniff of a botch. So that wasn't here. So I think they avoided the internet's ire on this. But us guys in this room, we know what's holding a Monet match back from, being a 7. It could be a 9 or a 10. And it's just that psychology. But if you're a heel, then maybe you should be a heel. She's clearly a fucking heel, right? I mean, it's not a face.
So. In every aspect besides how she wrestles, yes.
Her match with Cameron was good too. I like that one too. Yeah. That was very entertaining and good. It worked.
Stephanie Vacour is probably my favorite Mercedes match since being in the company.
Vacour, very good. I literally got Vacour signed by the WWE, so not horrible at all.
She's so good.
All right. Wow. Swerve Strickland versus Ricochet. I feel so mixed on this, and I really want to go to a pro. Kellin, you're very critical of these kinds of matches, I feel.
Yeah. I don't tolerate flippy shit for the sake of flippy shit. There needs to be some.
I felt that we were riding a line here. There was a lot of bullshit in this match.
There was a lot of bullshit. Maybe it was my love for Swerve holding it together, but this was one of my favorite matches that Ricochet has had since signing with the company.
I mean, it was real good. It was real. Like, the audience loved the shit out of it.
I thought this was really good. I think the Prince Nana stories was a little muddled, probably not needed. We didn't need him to be so...
Wait.
We didn't need to tease him leaving Swerve like 6 times in one match. I don't...
Yeah, right. All right.
This drummer dude could have stayed home. I don't know what the hell this was.
I want to speak about muddled. You said muddled, and I dropped the picture of the fucking drummer. I might not be a pro when it comes to wrestling, but I did music for 20 fucking years. And what the fuck was this?
I don't know. It was the worst part of the whole match.
Holy shit. I don't even know what to say about it. Anyone with ears can tell there were a lot of fucking problems with this drummer.
A lot of squinted eyebrows in the room when I watched this one. What
the fuck is going on? Swerve's music is good the way it is, people. It was fine. I mean, first off, I don't know who he is. And nothing against the drummer. I think he did a great job. I think he's extremely talented. I couldn't hear what the fuck he was doing. He clearly couldn't hear what the fuck he was doing. There's a delay.
I could have put a light on him, you know what I mean?
A light? Yeah, what the fuck is going on?
In the dark, brother.
This guy got no fucking fanfare. They didn't call him out on commentary. They weren't like, and that's the drummer from, like, when they had the fucking guitar player from Fozzy out there to play Britt Baker to the ring, they were like, that's the fucking guitar player from Fozzy, guys. This guy got none of that shit.
Cool. He's, of course, Fozzy to get their shit in.
Yeah. This guy gets none of that shit.
Fozzy, the only way Fozzy ever played Wembley Stadium is because of Jericho.
And once again,
I was there live.
Not his fault. This is not a rock show. And I think many live bands have been laid low by playing at a wrestling show, just for the mere fact that we have echo all over the fucking place. You cannot tell where that music is when you're listening. It might have sounded great in the arena, probably not, but it might have.
What do you think has done it the best?
The best one recently, just like off the top of my head, was Rancid, because they sound like shit anyways, and they just kind of play into it. Like, they're used to not being able to hear themselves. Any band that doesn't need to hear themselves because like they're a punk rock band or something, they do fucking great unless you're downstate.
My two that jump out. Poppy. Every time Poppy played EO out, I thought was really good. And every time they would bring that professional violin player for Shinsuke, I thought,
I think you're usually safer with a soloist. Apparently not a drummer.
Look, you know why the guy with Shinsuke was so good? Because that instrument is actually featured in his fucking song. There's no drums in Swerve's song, so I don't know what this guy thought he was gonna do besides just go ham for no reason.
I mean, you know what? It would have made more sense to me if you at least would have put the guy over. Put a fucking light on him and call him out at least, and explain why he's there. Would have helped me. So that was weird. All right. We only got a half hour here to left, so I want to pick up the pace a little bit. The only thing that stuck out to me, there was like maybe one.
Can I just add one thing to the Swerve and Nana?
Yeah, please.
I am a huge Lucha Underground fan, so this match spoke everything that I love about those two squaring off again.
Yeah.
The Nana back and forth thing was not for me, but everyone said there's nothing that this pay-per-view can do to match the John Cena heel turn in professional wrestling, and I beg to differ, because if Nana would have punched him, I would have been heartbroken. Also, if you're in the Pennsylvania area, on the 12th of next month, Prince Nana will be at PPW in Slatington, Pennsylvania for a meet and greet. So if you're in the immediate, I think it's like an hour from Philly, so go check that out.
Yeah, I think this match rode the line of too many false finishes and maybe too much bullshit. But at the end of the day, the internet has spoken. They've given it an 8.5. I think it could have been a 9 if it just would. It's just minor shit. Just minor shit, like one less finisher, one less bit of fuckery. But overall, I mean, really good showing. All right, now this match, surprisingly low rated by the internet. This got a 6.8. This is under the Monet Momo match, which I don't agree with.
You can see why.
Why would you think this would get a lower rating than the Monet match?
Because I think the fans have been just clamoring for House of Black and the entire time. I know they're not House of Black anymore, but they've just been clamoring for them to be something.
That faction.
And when they got decimated by a 105-year-old Sting and 120-pound Darby Allin, and they just ran rumshot through the whole team, and Darby's choking out Brody King. And then they're like, oh, okay, well, Malachi's not there, so maybe they'll throw this some more love.
Yeah.
And they're still getting destroyed by everybody they wrestle. So I think people want more from Brody, and they're behind Brody, but nobody expected Brody to go over here. So I think they just kind of checked out every time they see them in the ring.
That's fair. I agree with that. What do you think, Kellin?
I actually agree with Rain Dragon. I thought this entire match just kind of reeked of laziness. Not out of the workers or anything like that, but that's like the pace at which they went. I did not vibe with almost anything. The moments they were trying to do did not land. The people stayed largely quiet, besides a couple decent little pops, but even then it wasn't anything to write home about. I think this is very accurately rated on Cage Match. This was one of my least favorite matches of the night. Because like he said, if there's no investment, like I know Brody King is not about to take this belt away from him. So why the hell do I care? This is a piss break match for me. Go make some food real quick and come back, because I'm not going to miss anything important.
Yeah, everybody knows where this is going with Okada. And let me just tell you, for anyone that can't figure it out, it's very obvious, okay? He's taken out Buddy King, Buddy Lee, Buddy Matthews.
Brody. Yeah, Jesus.
He's taken.
He threw me off.
That was horrible. I'm just gonna fuck up his name 6 times. He's taken out Buddy Matthews. He's taken out Brody King. Okay. Julia Hart's coming in and taking this belt, and everybody fucking knows it. Everybody knows that Julia Hart is going to be the one to take down Okada. So there's no fucking suspense, because she's a goddamn monster, and she's going to be your next, crown champion, or whatever the fuck you call this goddamn belt that nobody gives a shit about, which Kenny Omega will eventually take, of course, at All In Texas or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's that match. I don't know. I'm all for the Julia Hart, mixed gender champion. I don't know. We should
Wouldn't
pull
it
the
be
trigger.
some shit if? Wouldn't it be some shit if Malachi's deal's actually not up and he just quietly re-signed and he's the one who takes that belt?
I mean, you'd think that's where it was going. I mean,
That would be super sick.
Is that why we're playing it out? Like,
maybe he left the House of Black and comes back on a solo run without them.
There you
and
go.
Takes it
and then he runs through those guys too. I don't know, because you can't bury Brody King and Buddy Matthews enough. Actually,
just put him 6 feet under. Let's go.
All right. Speaking of burials, we have the Hurt Syndicate burying the Outrunners. This is actually up there with worst match of the night at a 4.6. Another match has a much worse score, but we'll get to that. Yeah, I mean, I knew this was this was another one of those, like, of course, there's no fucking planet where the Outrunners... I mean, now the Outrunners were in discussions to take the tag belts away from the Young Bucks. They were going to squash the Young Bucks, was the pitch. And that's when they really were having their moment. I feel like they're still having a moment. I feel like after this, they can still keep having a moment. It's not going to detract from them, but they were never going to win this.
This particular match... I hated this. Yeah. This was my first experience with the Outrunners, and I think that I could be tripping. I feel like the Hurt Syndicate gave them opportunities to get their shit in, but they had their moments, and they just didn't. Which one of these brothers got the hot tag? I don't know them apart from each other. Like I said, it's my first match I ever saw. Whichever one of these guys got the hot tag and came in needs to reassess his life, because I don't know what the hell that was. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he hopped over the ropes and he might have tweaked his ankle. If he tweaked his ankle, then disregard everything I'm saying, because if you're hurt and doing the best you can, then what have you. I'm not going to hold that against anybody. But if that was his best shot and he came in and that was just what he thought was good, I don't know what the hell that was. And I would have eaten him alive too. Because at that rate, you've made everybody here look stupid. He came in and threw like 2 right hands and like immediately was like, I don't know where to go from here, brother. And like, I don't know what the hell was going on, but whichever one of them got the hot tag, it took me completely out of the match, because that's what you build tag team wrestling for. You're not building it for near falls. You're not building it for your story is the hot tag. That's what everything in a tag match is supposed to be about. So for him to come in and throw 2 sloppy punches and call it a day, I don't know what the hell that was, but it was not a good match. I did not like this one. I'm glad the Hurt Syndicate ran through him on to the next one. You had your shot. We'll try again in a couple months.
Chat's got our back here. It was Turbo Floyd.
See, I can't see really where this tag team division goes. It went from being work rate tag team champions everywhere to gimmick funny tag team champions, back to work rate, now to these monsters. And there's really no one on the tag team scene that look like they're credible that can beat these two guys. And I don't.
We thought the House of Black was going to be it, but they've cut their nuts off in just a matter of weeks. I don't know what the heck that was about.
Yeah, did they already run through Brody King and Matthews? Did that?
No, but everybody else has. So why the hell would I think they're going to win tag titles?
Yeah,
they did.
If Brody's not beating Darby, I don't think he's beating Shelton and Bobby Lashley.
Oh boy. All right, look, we do have Brian Cage and Lance Archer that can job to them, so that's an option.
I love Brian Cage and Lance Archer too, and they're just getting. If you're over 6'4" in AEW, you are not winning matches. They don't like booking the big guys, which is understandable because they don't really look like the rest of the roster.
You do have Big Bill.
I love Big Bill,
and everybody loves Big Bill.
I hate this Jericho storyline right now, but Big Bill is more entertaining now than he's ever been his entire career.
Yeah, they've teased. They had Enzo on the Jericho Cruise.
God, please bring him in.
He's very polarizing, but I could definitely see that team beating these guys a year down the road. It's gonna be a year,
Jericho's been teaching him, and then Enzo comes in and be like, "Man, I've been teaching you forever. Yeah. I know you can't teach that." You know what I mean? Like,
it is all about teaching, isn't it? It's a learned angle.
It's right there.
It is right there. It must be on the table in some reality.
I've been teaching you forever.
All right. And then way too soon in the card, and this has been discussed, it has been said that the last 4 matches could have been put on. Any of these could have been the main event. Here's our first main event. It's Tony fucking Storm in the Hollywood Ending match versus Mariah May. I don't know if I have anything to add to this. This is one of the greatest fucking matches in AEW history. It is literally the highest rated thing on the card. And that is saying something when it's basically tied with another match we're going to talk about in a minute. This goddamn thing, this is a piece of fucking art. My only critique is I wish, I think it should have gotten more time. You could have shaved some time off of our real main event and put it on this, and I think we would have been in a better world.
Sometimes the shorter time is the saving grace.
Could have added.
True. That's another thing. The short time might have helped it out. They were bleeding a lot. I don't know if they could have gone much longer with that.
Right? Yeah, I
blood
would have
loss
seen a
that
dead
was
body if
happening,
it went too much longer.
I will say this: AEW does one thing very well. I have been recently now collecting figures again because of AEW figures, and every now and then someone bleeds like a stuffed pig, and AEW makes blood and guts figures where it's a 2-pack, and they come with a normal head that they look like when they came out, and then there's a whole swappable set where it looks like they're bloody. If we don't get a Mariah May and Tony Storm with the Hollywood over sign and the bloody shoe and the bucket of glass, I will riot.
Yeah. No, full on. I think I have every blood and guts figure set there is. And I was watching this and I wasn't thinking about the blood and guts figures, but that's an excellent point. I was like, this is like a play set coming out. Like, what the fuck is going on? They're selling toys right now. What's happening? This match is fucking great. The whole story was great. I'll give 1 point to this not being the main event in that they literally already main evented a kind of pay-per-view, which was that Grand Slam Australia thing.
Yeah.
They kind of already did it. That's the only excuse I would give for this not being the main event. That, and there's another match on here, which probably I would have made if I was I'm never going to be the guy, but if I was ever the guy that decided that, I'd have been like, that's your main fucking event.
Did anyone else think they were going to start making out at the end? Because I totally thought they were going to start kissing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think as soon as the cameras cut, they were. I mean, it's all good. It's all good.
I would have been amazing.
My two favorite parts about this match: one, thank God we didn't let that Australia match be the blow off to their feud.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was not super great.
Not this. Yeah.
And everybody needed what this match was.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part is I feel like this match was so good and we got such a good blood and guts style moment. It's going to do what I feel like AEW wants to do or is trying to do or should do, and that's try to put some of that Britt Baker stuff behind them. I don't think they want to think about her anymore.
Yeah.
They want to try to outclass everything she ever did in AEW so she doesn't come up as much anymore.
Yeah.
And this could be the match that puts her previous blood and guts figure style match kind of towards the end of the bookshelf, because now we got this I think this was a much better match than that. I don't know about you all, but I think this could accomplish that goal.
Yeah. Thunder Rosa's really good in the ring, which is all I'll say about that. You know, she did some I'm very intimate with that match because I did an edit where I watched it frame by frame twice. Very good in the ring. But storytelling is nowhere near what was going on here. I mean, this is the one that's going to get pointed to as one of the greatest female
at the end. So good. So good.
Yeah, the greatest female wrestling match in AEW. I don't know. For wrestling, we're probably talking
when it comes
Monet
to pound for
Statler.
pound wrestling. When it comes to pound for pound wrestling, I still think the best match that happened in that company. I know I put the AEW and ROH together. Yeah. I still think Willow and Athena was the first ever main event for two women of color in an ROH pay-per-view. I still think that's one of the best female matches I've ever seen. But full-blown storytelling, hardcore, blow-off, triple, the third match of the series, this was brilliant. It was amazing.
I like that the belt was already on Tony, so the belt wasn't really about. We knew Mariah May wasn't winning, so we could just focus on telling the story of these two and finishing it, and it's awesome. It's great.
Is this the match that we got the shot of Billy Starks watching?
I think.
Or was that
no? She was watching Mercedes.
Mercedes, okay.
All right.
I like
Shout
the bit.
out to
I
my
like
girl
the
Billy for making the show.
Yeah, I like the big the end at the end.
Yeah,
very
so
nice.
good.
Classy.
I thought Mina was coming out. I thought Mina was going to come up at the top of the ramp, but it never happened.
And then, yes, this is where we get to really see that they use the chandelier. They dropped the chandelier down. They used to just do this for Cody. I guess it's the EVP chandelier. I think that's the way.
EVP chandelier.
It's the EVP chandelier. They dropped it for Omega. Love this match. I'm here because of Omega. I wouldn't give a shit about AEW if not for Omega. I wouldn't have tuned in. It was the strength of what he was doing. I have since grown to love everybody in AEW, so it's become.
Takeshita is one of the best in the world.
Love.
He's so good.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
So good.
Takeshita is a wrestler who looks like every time he hits you with a move or a strike or a knee, it looks like it hurts. It looks like he's killing you every time he wrestles you. He's unbelievable. What a steal. What a steal for that company.
Yeah.
Takeshita was one of the guys who I had no idea who they were when I got roped into watching AEW, and him and Fletcher have become two of my favorites to watch.
Yeah. Takeshita should be studied. He's so good.
I love that we're getting this version of Omega and AEW after what we had to witness when he came in, which was some of his own choosing to, book himself into losing a lot, and some of it being the health issues that he was dealing with.
Now he's going to be the first Grand Slam in AEW.
I believe they just recognized it today, that he is the first Grand Slam champion in AEW. He's held 4 different titles in the company. And by traditional rules, that counts you as a Grand Slam. I think some WWE nonsense says that it doesn't, but we don't listen to that shit.
Yeah.
It's a Grand Slam champion, goddammit. And
their gear was inspired by some Japanese animation TV show too, of like a boxing TV show.
Yeah. The one that inspired Kenny Omega to learn Japanese. He watched the anime that was dubbed, and then he wanted to read the rest of the story in the manga. So he learned how to read Japanese just for it. So, and I like how they both coordinated that, but they're mortal enemies.
Yeah.
I don't mind that immersion break. I find that adorable. Like, we're going to fuck each other up. Let's wear matching gear.
I'm going to wear Batman. You wear Joker.
Yeah. Okay, pinky swears.
Yeah. Let's go out there and wear Wicked gear.
I mean, look.
Both show up dressed as Joker, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what's going on, man? I think that happened. I don't remember what. I know that
Ken.
Did they literally dress up as the same thing?
Penta and 10 on the same shows.
Okay.
Both were wearing Joker
Gotcha.
and Spider-Man.
I know the same thing happened with Dustin or another guy. They both did. Oh, I think Brian Cage and Sammy both did Wolverine.
Sammy Guevara. Yeah, they both did Wolverine the same show.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Because Wolverine's cool. God damn it! All right, this match.
Wolverine's lame.
This match almost got a 9 off of Cage match. Peak Kenny Omega is peak Kenny Omega. It's always going to be up in that stratosphere. I got no problems with it. Does he keep winning belts, or is this it? Is this Kenny's belt now, or does he keep going?
I think if they continue to use him like this, I am definitely down. I think they're going to build to an eventual world title run, but I am fine with him joining this white hot mid-card title scene they got going on right here. Like,
well, did you see the announcement today?
Yeah, there's going to be a tournament for his opponent.
Oh,
yes.
Word?
Yep.
That's dope.
I'm pulling it up on Twitter now. I can give you the bracket, but there's a mystery guy that we don't know.
Probably everyone's speculating Speedball.
They're saying Speedball or Josh Alexander.
Okay. Yeah. He's been rumored to have been signed.
I would fucking love Speedball versus Kenny Omega in Philly. I'm just saying.
That sounds beautiful. just dream match.
I love Speedball Mike Bailey. I want that match.
Just dream match Kenny Omega out until he can't dream match no more.
Literally, it seems to be his new character. I'm just going to do what I do until the wheels fall off. I'm not going to hold back anymore. I'm not going to try to extend this anymore.
Oops,
whenever
all dream
this flame
matches.
burns out, that's it. But I'm going to let it burn as hot as it wants.
Yeah. As much as I like JD Drake, I don't need Kenny Omega versus JD Drake again.
So we got Orange Cassidy and I can never say this guy's name. Hirichiko?
Oh, Hechicero.
Hechicero, thank you.
Yeah,
that's Wednesday on Dynamite. The Wild Card live on Wednesday versus the Beast Mortis. Then on Collision will be Shibata.
Oh, here. Let me give you a spoiler. The Wild Card wins.
Yeah,
it's versus the Beast Mortos, for Christ's sake. I mean, is it going to be the Beast Mortos versus Kenny Omega in Philly?
Shibata versus Ricochet on Collision, which I like that match. Mark Briscoe versus Mark Davis in the Battle of the Marks on Collision as well.
I think when I looked at all that, I kind of figured it would be Ricochet versus Omega because we haven't seen it. But the wild card's definitely a wild card and might be what we're.
So
what
wild card wins. Let's just say Speedball Mike Bailey. Speedball goes on to wrestle Orange Cassidy. Ricochet, I'm just gonna say he'll probably beat Shibata. Briscoe goes on. So I think the finals could legit be Ricochet versus Speedball Mike Bailey to find out who goes. And
fucking
wrestles.
Amazing right there. And I don't care who goes on to Omega because both of those matches are incredible and first times.
Yeah, I'll take both of them.
I don't know. Is Ricochet a first time against Omega? Did they meet up? It would be a long time if it was. They're like different guys now. It's basically first time because they're like different fucking wrestlers at this point.
Yeah,
it would have been like DDT Omega or something.
Back when Ricochet had hair.
Boom! Oh Jesus! I love when commentary got it wrong, and everybody was doing like a bald chant, and they thought it was something else. But no, and that's all they chant at Ricochet, and they don't know how to handle it on commentary because they're like, "Is that like really offensive to say that? Is that offensive towards bald people? How many people are we alienating if we call out the bald thing?"
Someone needs to send Taz the clip from SpongeBob so he gets it.
I love Omega as international champion. I think that's a great belt for him. It really helps keep this belt strong. You haven't had very many. I think at one point I was laughing. I think it was on Dynamite or something. They were like called Takeshita like one of the two great international champions, and like just
from
absolutely
his pool of like 3 options.
Yeah, like inadvertently buried Roderick Strong. And I forget, and like and Pac. That's right. There's only been like 3 champions, and they're like, there's been 2 great champions, and Takeshita's one of them. I'm like, Jesus, guys. I guess that's more of what you were saying. Sometimes commentary just inadvertently buries their own product.
Yeah, it just crushes it. Orange Cassidy, I think, is the guy who definitely put that title on the map.
Yeah, that's the guy. All right, and then I believe this is the bit. It's like hard to even find because it's like blink and you miss it. But the internet fucking knows it. And that's the bit where we go into the audience and we talk to the director of Queen of the Ring, and he's standing there with the 2 female lead actresses. And I guess I don't think any review of this show would be complete without talking about this. I'm not finding the screenshot of it, but that's okay. We all know it.
It just make me hot all over again.
Well, I have a hot take on the whole thing because they get the director talking, the director's rambling or whatever, and he's running out of shit to say because I guess they're killing time while they drop the cage.
He's been putting work in this whole month of promoting it.
Yeah,
like
there's
nothing else more he can do.
Yeah, there's nothing more you can do. I guess they're dropping the cage. They're cleaning the ring. They're dropping the cage or whatever, and they need to kill some time. They've run the promo package. And he says what he says. He says, but really, you want to talk to these actresses? And the actresses, they don't know what the fuck to say.
No, we don't. We don't. Never did. Never will. Don't know who they are. Didn't want to talk to them.
So paraphrasing here, the female actress says, I really respect wrestlers because they know who's going to win before we do. And Kellin, I know you're rather hot about this, and I feel you're the right person to be hot about this because you're a wrestler. I feel like this is going to piss off the guys on the show. Me as a fan, I don't give a single fuck. I think it's hilarious, and I love that AEW is so goddamn chaotic because I've seen all the takes about they should coach these ladies and they should coach this guy and tell them what to say. I'm like, no, they shouldn't, because I like random weird shit. I like that Tony Schiavone just goes out into the crowd.
I think people forget that the echo chamber we're in as wrestling fans. I think people realize, like, hey, even like the dumb fans are sometimes the smart ones, and there's still fans who are watching professional wrestling in 2025 who are not in this universe. I promise you that. I go on TikTok quite frequently and listen to some of these lives and hear some of these takes of people legit think about professional wrestling, and it's I don't think she was doing it to be rude,
No.
angry, or disrespectful. I think she legit didn't know. I'm being totally honest.
She didn't know what the rules were. She thought that maybe
Yeah.
kayfabe was dead, and it is. But it's just like, all right, Kellin, you're the wrestler, and I absolutely respect you being upset at this because you're the guy that's
makes
aimed
me
at.
Not want to watch the movie though.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna fucking see it. Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm not gonna go
Because
see it.
if you're an actor in this movie and you don't understand the role you're playing or that role and that aspect of it, then it makes me question the authenticity of your movie.
You missed some lessons, lady. I mean, look.
I love my favorite on the internet is when wrestling fans go, I just don't like that my favorite wrestler loses every match. I think they're not being utilized, and I think they should win more. I was like, you realize it's a play, right? Like wins and losses. Are they making you feel something? Yes. Are they not doing it for hot dogs and handshakes and they're on TV? Yeah. They don't care if they win or lose.
Being on TV is the prize, really.
Yeah, they don't care.
So I do want to give Kellin a chance to air this event because he's been sitting on it for a minute. So Kellin, what did that do to your wrestler brain when she said that right in the middle of a fucking pay-per-view between two fucking matches?
You boys like magic. You like Chris Angel.
Yeah.
You like magic. David Copperfield. Y'all like that shit. I've never once sat in the audience of one of those shows like, holy fuck, this guy can summon fireballs. What? He just, it's Jesus. It's Jesus. I saw him walk. I saw it happen. We're done. He floated up. We're done. Rapture's here. Never once have I ever fucking thought that shit. But I've also never been to a show and they're like, hey, there's a flap in here, right? You can see the rabbit comes out of here. You don't need to fucking do that live on pay-per-view. We all know it's a work, brother. There's not one person in there that thinks that shit's real. We don't care. We're here for the suspension of disbelief. If I'm watching one of my favorite shows or some shit and a character gets shot and he's on the fucking ground, I don't need him to go... But oh my god, I'm about to lose my mind. That was the dumbest shit.
It was a low blow to everybody in the back for sure. 100%.
I'm not saying they need scripts, but we need to at least be like, hey, what would you like to talk about? It's like, I don't know. I'm going to talk about the struggles of making the movie and how I got hurt on the first day. Great, sounds dope. Go do that.
You see,
I'm gonna talk
AEW.
about how y'all know who's winning. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that.
Do it every other person goes. It hurts a lot when you fall on those rings.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ.
I found out by training with wrestlers that this is actually kind of real.
Yes.
That would be
just
the thing
because
to
I
say.
know you're gonna swing a chair does not mean you swing it any fucking lighter. That shit still hurts.
Oh shit. Oh man, I think this is what caused me to not care though. As a fan, I get it. As a wrestler, it's like fucked. As a fan, the thing is, like, would this happen in the WWE? Answer: no. They just wouldn't do it. And that's why I don't watch it, because it's not chaotic and weird shit like this doesn't happen. And this kind of stuff is like, I like the live, unscripted, fucking crazy shit that AEW is. And that brings us to this fucking insane cage match between Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay. Holy fucking
real quick,
shit.
If we're gonna shit on one celebrity, we have to give other celebrities their roses. Leslie Jones is the greatest pro wrestling fan of all time.
Goated.
She gets her roses immediately. She was sweating like she was in church on that pay-per-view. She was dabbing herself. She was going crazy hard.
All right.
Comedians who were front row were going ape shit the whole show.
And thank
King
you.
Jong, or the King guy?
Yes.
The Ken guy. Amazing fan.
Yes.
Never sat down the whole show.
Yes.
They are genuinely invested celebrities who were there that night. And for one bad one that did a horrible interview, there was 6 other ones who I was genuinely... Leslie Jones
100%.
is now my new favorite person for how much he loves pro wrestling.
All right, yeah, Anthony, thank you for calling that out. That is the one thing that we should all be upset about more than anything else, is that they put the mic on that actress and not on fucking Leslie.
Yeah.
There was one person to put a mic in front of in this goddamn show, and it was Leslie, and you would have gotten gold. I don't know what she would have said. It would have been way better and way funnier.
She had us second guessing if that's who it was. Like, as soon as it came past her, we're like, oh, that's the Saturday Night Live chick. That's dope. And then she started getting so hot, and they gave her no love on commentary, where I'm like, fuck, maybe that's his mom or some shit.
Yeah,
Why is she
right?
getting so mad? Like, she had us all second guessing. We had to Google what she looks like nowadays. Like, no, that's who we thought it was.
She was amazing.
Yeah, she's been hosting The Daily Show.
Yeah,
She's got like
great.
a bigger draw than probably any celebrity in that audience, and they don't want to like call her out or put her on the mic. Fuck you, AEW. All right, I'm in full agreement with the internet.
They called her some woman in the front row.
Yep.
They called her on commentary.
Some woman.
Some woman in the front
Who are
row.
you? Who are you calling some people? What the fuck is that?
Once again, out of touch AEW commentary. Like, you have celebrities who are going there to give you their time and like put some eyes on your product, and you show, like when Young Gravy was on there. I'm not a Young Gravy fan, but the guy has a lot of viewers and a lot of people. Show him a little respect.
A little bit. Just they have him on the pre-show. They did have him on the pre-show.
Just a hair. Just a hair.
Just a hair. All right. There's nothing to say about Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. I mean, what the fuck? All right. There is one thing to talk about when it comes to this. This is the most fucking incredible cage match on the planet. I can't believe that there's actually a takeout right now that Seth Rollins versus CM Punk on fucking Raw was actually better than this. That's fucking insane to me. But whatever, guys. If you're into that shit, then you're into that shit. If you're into an actual fucking bloody, violent, insane fucking cage match full of insane spots, storytelling, and all kinds of crazy shit, two of the best goddamn wrestlers to walk the face of the planet in our generation, then this is the one for you. Did they need to do a double Spanish fucking fly off the top of the goddamn cage at the end and break Will Ospreay's body in two by doing it? Was that necessary? I ask my co-host.
I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm actually going to say yes.
It had to happen.
Something to that level had to happen.
It had to happen.
It's the struggle you face when you have
But
a match
look,
this
Kyle's
personal.
licking on the fucking screwdriver. He's drinking
I
blood
know.
all night. There's so much shit in this match.
And that's the reason. The reason that you needed the Spanish fly is because all of this other shit happened. Because you're
so much shit. Wait. There was a fucking Styles clash onto thumbtacks. What the fuck?
That's disgusting.
Your finish needs to be bigger than anything that anybody has seen earlier in the match. And so when you're doing this shit halfway in, you set yourself up to needing to do a Spanish fly from the top.
Oh my!
I have one beef with the match. Mark Davis took a door to the head and bled more than either Kevin or Sammy in an unsanctioned barbed wire match. That guy,
he's
they all were like,
Irish.
yo, we're bleeding tonight, right? Like the ref, you cutting
Aussie.
too? Everyone's bleeding here.
He's an Aussie. You know, he probably drank a little bit before he came out.
Jesus,
his blood's thin.
I don't think he needed color at all.
Yeah.
You know, he wanted to get in on the fun. Remember, this is United Empire. They're all into this together.
I'll say this too. The only other the one other thing with that spot with the Spanish fly is it really goes to show like the class of Will Ospreay here too, because he puts himself in a really bad spot.
He did,
and lands really bad to so he didn't overcompensate and hurt his friend, and he took a bad bump to make sure his opponent was safe
because he loves Kyle Fletcher. And it's his best friend ever, and no matter what they do to each other, they're actually the greatest friends that have ever been.
You have to be. You have to be. I have some best friends, right? I have some people that I'm pretty ride or die for that I probably would take a bullet for. I don't know if I would do a Spanish fly off the top of a steel cage with you, but so you have to be homies for that.
They are so deep. What I love is in the promos leading up to this, you could tell like they were watching each other do their promos, like they were just off camera, because like Kyle was like responding to everything Will had just said in his promo. Just like direct quoting him, just like, all right, you know what? The actress may have exposed the business a little bit, but if I'm paying attention, I mean, you guys have totally exposed the business. I mean, I know you were standing there the whole damn time. You guys are high-fiving each other afterwards. You know, I know what's up. But I love it. I love that these guys love each other more than life itself, and I love all their matches. This was the greatest one. This combined all the elements of all their matches, and I'm going back to like their first one since Will Ospreay got signed, which I thought was incredible, the one they did on Dynamite. They incorporated all those crazy reversals into this match, plus all the death match shit, plus just everything. Awesome match. This should have been the main event. This is it. How the fuck could anybody top this? There's nowhere to go.
I will agree, but
You've
there's one
Spanish
reason why
flied off the top. Oh, this is when they do the spot. I'm sorry. This is when they do the Queen of the Ring spot. After they're trying to clean up the cage.
Yeah.
Go, and if you would have ended, then you wouldn't have this.
Literally, this wouldn't have existed if they just put this on last.
Stop. All right. So you were gonna say you understand the main event?
Yeah, so I guess we don't. The only part about the main event that I mean, do we really have to just talk about it? But I mean, like, it was.
Do we have to talk about it?
The cash in happened, and I was like, oh, they're okay. And then the
They
finish
got rid
happens,
of
and I'm like, all of that out the window, like all the storytelling out the window.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here now, AEW? Like this is you. I felt like a deflated balloon.
Yeah.
Mox is walking out as champion. Everything's going the way it's going, and I'm just like, something has to happen for anyone to care right now, and it better be good, and it better be enough to keep people interested because. I don't know if anyone really wanted Cope or Christian, but at least it was expected.
No. I'm going to tell you right now. You guys heard the crowd. Everyone wanted Christian. They were more hot for Christian winning than Cope or Moxley retaining or even Swerve challenging. The crowd wanted a Christian champion because we all know how fucking funny it would be. It would be a goddamn laugh riot.
So Nana comes out and gets in his face, and then all the security's standing around, and they're all standing in that spot. And the smart mark in me goes, "Oh, Swerve's jumping. Swerve is jumping off the top of this thing on this crowd." And the whole time I'm like, if they're making this important and this special, is Swerve going to be the guy to do it? Like, do I truly 100% in my heart believe that's the thing? No, I don't.
No.
But does it make me want to buy a ticket just in case? Next week.
Oh,
in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah.
100%.
I love that it's like two CZW guys. I think of Swerve as a CZW guy. That's like that was his final thing. I mean, you can think of Swerve as an everything. It's a great
city to
guy.
put that match on.
It's a great city for it because you got two guys that made a name for themselves in that city. Fantastic.
I have chills thinking about. Like I'm literally getting goose. I'm rocking it right now. I have the goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like
I like it, and it's 1 year from when Swerve won the championship the first time at the same event.
Yeah,
and that's the story. Clearly, that's the story. I think there was a lot of elements around this match.
Another 2-year deal. He just signed an extension.
Yep. There was a lot of elements around this match that were changed and adjusted. I think the main one would have been an appearance by Eddie Kingston, which that probably should have happened. Might have helped. I don't know.
I miss Eddie.
I guess, I can't be upset with this match because it does end in Moxley and Swerve in Philly. And that sounds like a lot of fun, even when Moxley retains or whatever. At least the whole time you will think that Swerve could win it.
Yeah. The thing with it, though, is Mox's whole bit is I feel like nobody in the company is taking this seriously. Nobody wants to take it to that next level. Nobody wants to do what it takes to put this company where it needs to be. And I'm sitting here going, I think if anyone fits that MO.
Oh yeah, Swerve will do it. I want to see Moxley bagged. Swerve should bag him up. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And I think AEW has the potential, or had the potential, to do something that I feel like WWE dropped the ball with. This whole Roman storyline that led up to Mania and then led into Mania 41, and then for The Undertaker to come out and do a chokeslam where I felt he was not involved in the story whatsoever, and I think it ruined the entire night for me. Like, everyone talks about that was such an Avengers thing. It wasn't. The Avengers story is Cody needed to get his lick in, and he never did because he had to have help to do it.
Yeah.
Like, Cody never had that lick in, and they better right the wrong this year. I'm just being honest, but it comes into AEW where the Death Riders essentially just decimated Darby, decimated Orange, decimated Danielson. Everyone's hurt and gone, and someone needs to lead that charge, and no one really is doing that. Like Orange Cassidy came back and then acted like that he never was a part of that storyline at all. Like he's just they killed me, I don't care. Like I'm
no longer a part of it.
Yeah,
I've been written off.
Like, they don't even have that theory there. So maybe
if you interviewed Orange Cassidy, would he just say like, "Oh no, I've been written out of that storyline"?
Yeah, pretty much.
like in character, in kayfabe, that's his thing.
Yeah, and my only fear is, and I'm gonna sound like such a hater, but I thought it was gonna lead to Darby coming back and winning the world title.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna be honest, I love AEW, but I don't think I can watch a Darby Allin world title run.
If it's short, I think it's fine. I don't think we're gonna see. We couldn't see a dominant Darby run. There's so many guys. Come on.
If there's anyone who they would force it down our throat, it would be Darby.
Darby for 3 years. All right, everybody, you heard it here first. Darby Allin, world champion, dominant for 3 years. All right, I think we're gonna.
I don't like it, but it scares me that it might be a thing.
I don't know. I think there's only one guy. It's Omega, but it is kind of like he has that international belt now. Who knows if there's more belts? Is he gonna hold? Is he gonna collect belts again? Put every fucking belt in the company on Omega. Why not? I don't know. There's a lot of guys out there, and they're all kind of lined up. Jay White's still kicking around, and everyone thinks he should do something. So who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But it could be Swerve, and I'll go with that for now. That's enough for me to make it to the next pay-per-view. I can believe in my mind, in my heart, I know it's Moxley, but I can say, hey, maybe Swerve. And that's not a bad ending to a pay-per-view. It was a bad match, not a bad ending. And I do like how over everybody was for Christian. That was very cool just to hear how anarchic the AEW audience still is. That we would just...
He's doing some of his best work.
We would let Christian hold that belt just for lulz, which is kind of great. All right, any final thoughts on the pay-per-view there, Kellin? Did you have a good time?
Yeah. No, it was
what's
really
important.
good. I hate that it ended with such a match. It's a shame that their world title run or their world title scene looks so crappy compared to their mid-card scene.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the mid-card scene is cooking. The women seem to be cooking. The tag division had a softer match, but I like the champions, so hopefully they can get their stride back. It's just a good event. I liked it a lot.
Let's not rule out Julia Hart for AEW Men's World Champion. It could happen.
Maybe she fights Kenny.
Yeah.
Maybe she's the wild card in the tournament.
Yeah, she could be the fucking wild card, man. Yeah, just don't rule out Julia Hart. All right, everybody. Thanks for checking out this review. Leave something down in the comments for us and keep digging.